The Dream went out there last night and embarrassed us, but, you know, it is what it is. Well, not embarrassed because it was, you know, Vegas. It's just when you're playing up against a team where, like, matchup-wise, there's actually a chance, and, you know, Vegas has issues playing against us. Maybe it's the matchups, I don't know. So when we lose winnable games, and it's for the exact same reasons why you lost your last 6. I mean, like, what is this? A 6 or 7 game losing streak? To me, it's an embarrassment, but that's neither here nor there. But shout out Asia Wilson doing her stuff, the things that she normally does. We could make this a negative video, but I'm going to flip the script and try to be positive because we've already discussed why we're losing games. I don't know what more has to happen before Coach Wright gets fired, but that's neither here nor there. So much so that the last game I had to go over to a different YouTube channel to make a video because I just had to curse. Like, I was just so angry. But I want to use this video to speak on the positives, if at all possible. And I would like to start with Destanni Henderson. I think what she has been doing is exactly what I assumed would happen the second we saw her make the training camp roster and the initial impact I thought she was going to have when she went to Indiana in the first place. Henny is, at least from what I can see, Henny is a great individual who can run an offense and get a shot if necessary. Again, notice how I say if necessary. And the archetype of what the Dream seem to be trying to find is an individual who is like that, a pass-first individual who can score if necessary, but for the most part is going to set up a offensively bloated roster. And what I mean by that is, like, you've got Alicia Gray, right? You've got Ryan Howard. We added individuals like Aerial Powers. You added individuals like Tina Charles and stuff like that. You still got Cheyenne Parker. Nas is good for a bucket every now and again. Nia Coffey is a sniper that we don't talk about enough. Like, there's a bunch of individuals that can go get a bucket, but you need playmaking. And I feel like the Dream have been drastically trying to find that piece. I understand why we gave the reins to Haley Jones, and we were all asking for it as Dream fans, but I don't think she's ready. I also don't think perhaps this is the system for her, especially when you only have an 11-person roster. I feel like that's a spot that can go to someone else. I think Haley Jones is a great defender, but in terms of what we need for the balance of the team, I don't see where she fits on this roster. Now, I'm not saying she should be unemployed or have to play overseas. I'm simply saying I don't think she's right for this roster. You look at a Destanni Henderson, and it's exactly what they were trying to do with a Crystal Dangerfield. It's exactly what they thought that they were trying to do with Aari McDonald, right? I feel like Destanni is exactly who y'all thought Aari McDonald was. And you have her. And in terms of how it is that you construct a team in terms of balance, anyone on any form of social media knows I am obsessed with balanced teams and rosters in terms of basketball. And I think that when you have firepower like the Atlanta Dream have, which might be technically a part of your front court, maybe backcourt-ish, but you know, like I feel like you don't need more offense, which is kind of something I go back and forth with on, like, Twitter of, like, you know, do you feel that or do you not? I am just personally of the camp that we don't need more offense from the person distributing the ball. I think she should be able to hit a shot, don't get me wrong, but in terms of more firepower, I think you need someone who needs to sacrifice and say, okay, it doesn't matter what shots I get. I got to make sure everybody gets the ball where they need it. I need to make sure that the pace is pushed. Maybe she doesn't specifically get the assist, but maybe it's the hockey assist. Just knowing that the offense is being run, I think that is super necessary. Now, again, on the broader stream of the different channels and different teams I've covered, it is no secret I have a place in my heart for defensive point guards that don't really score like that. You know, I love it. Like, initially, you think I love a Ben Simmons, right? But, like, from your Elfrid Paytons and stuff like that, but we'll leave the NBA stuff alone. I love those types of guards, right? Like, in theory, you think I'd love an Odyssey Sims, but it's like, I love that. I love when your, like, main scorer is one of your forwards who can maybe play the 2, maybe play the 4. Like, I love that. And I love it when your star is a center, because then you have a playmaker that's able to, like, I love that stuff. From a strategic factor, I think it's beautiful. Now, I'm obviously not someone who's against the idea of having a point guard that's just unstoppable. My favorite player is Kennedy Carter. Right under that is Derrick Rose. Like, I love it, absolutely love it. But I love even more the idea of taking your dynamic scorer and scooting them over to the shooting guard or small forward or something like that, and then bringing someone in who can run the team. Again, not bringing in NBA to this, but it's like the second you take Iverson and put him in at the shooting guard position, it's like agaga. You know, just let the buckets be off ball. Why not? And I think that the Dream are in the position to where they can operate in that type of a fashion, right? But then you've got teams like, I don't know, I can't think of a WNBA equivalent, because like there's not many like point guards that are like killing like that, like killers types, you know what I mean? Like they're a part of great systems, and it's more so triple double watch. I can't really think of another WNBA equivalent, so I'll just go over to the Hawks. When you have a star like that, who's clearly your point guard, it's like, okay, you just surround them with great talent. So it's like, maybe the Tajante thing isn't the end of the world, because it's like, okay, just give Trey the ball, let him do whatever he wants at all times, do the Steve Nash shuffle, right? Which, again, another bad example, because Steve Nash was passed first, but you know what I'm trying to say, right? You know what I'm trying to say. So with the Dream, I think I have constructed the perfect team. Now, one individual I am naming on this roster is obviously by definition a Dream, but I think it would be cool, and maybe Chicago won't go for it, but, you know, give them Haley, who knows, right? Hear me out, okay? Hear me out. This is also kind of telling of where I am with certain players, right? I think Destanni Henderson, starting point guard, right? Kennedy Carter, shooting guard. I know. Let me have this. It's my video. Let me have it. Alicia Gray, small forward. Ryan Howard, power forward. Tina Charles at center. Jordan Canada, backup point guard. Maya Caldwell, backup shooting guard. Small forward off the bench, Naz Hillman, backup point guard Nia Coffey, and Cheyenne Parker at center. You can also have Aerial Powers be that 11th person, because someone is going to get hurt in this equation, and you know Cheyenne be messing up, so there are alternatives here. The rest of this video is going to be me explaining how this works. And I think I'm going to make this the Twitter preview, because I feel like that sums it all up. So let's get into the shenanigans. Okay, so point of not contention, but just because I asked y'all on Twitter what you thought of it, right? And I can see a world where Jordan Canada starts just off star power and her ability to score and play defense and stuff. She's not the defensive liability that Destanni Henderson is, right? But then at the same time, Henny be playing defense as well. Henny plays defense as well. And in terms of pure balance, Kennedy Carter plays defense. And let's say hypothetically, right? Like if we're being super realistic and we ignore the Kennedy Carter like literal pipe dream thing, and you say that's, I don't know, Alicia Gray at 2 and Maya Caldwell at 3, right? Or you flip it, however it is you want to do it. That is plenty of defense to make up for Henny being a liability on a switch. Because I think in terms of perimeter defense, you ain't going to just leave Henny nowhere. She's super quick. Now, if there's a switch and she's in the post, send for help. But I mean, that's the case with anything on a switch. I just think it's a little bit more extreme when it's Henny because of her height. But I don't see how defensively it's that big of a drop-off. And again, in terms of balance, especially with Coach Wright as your coach, you're going to need to run some form of a system. Coach won't do it. So with Coach Wright being there, I feel like there's going to be the temptation of a your turn, my turn type beat. And I don't feel like that's what we need. If you put Destanni Henderson in there, there is a very small chance that she will be in the equation for ISO Henny. We don't need more of that. You don't want to tempt Tanisha Wright with such weapons, if you will. And also Jordin Canada off the bench. What 6 woman is stopping that? I mean, like, this bench lineup is just like pure dominant. It could be a starting lineup anywhere else. Jordin Canada, Maya Caldwell, Naz Hillman, Nia Coffey, Cheyenne Parker. Like that's OP. That's someone's starting lineup. And crack the glass on aerial powers if need be. I don't think Ryan Howard at power forward is that crazy. She's tall enough. She plays defense. She can play 1 through 5. Why not? And it spreads the floor even more. Now someone else's power forward is going to come all the way out to guard Ryan at half court. I think it's great. I think Tina Charles does a decent enough job holding it down. And again, just based off what we can actually pull off, Tina's been doing an all right job. Let her keep doing it. Why not? I don't think she should be the focal point of the offense, but we have discussed that on multiple occasions, so we won't redo anything else here. And I think addressing the Cheyenne Parker thing, I do think that it is possible for her to stay on the team. She just needs to continue to come off the bench, and there needs to be an understanding that you are a backup center. So just run up and down the floor, catch those Odell fast break lobs or whatever, the Hail Marys, and get in the post. Stop that shooting stuff and get in the post. Not that she's not capable of doing it. I mean, she's a killer in the mid-range if she's wide open. It's just the threes, the transition threes, I want no more of. I want no more of. And even when she's like running down the court, I want that off ball. I don't want her to like she wants to be Stewie so bad, but like, you are not her. Again, we've discussed that. I won't go into it again, but I just want to see more off-ball activity from her, if at all possible. Get to the cup. You are tall enough. You are strong enough. Get to it. And obviously play some friggin' defense, but that's neither here nor there. And I think even when she's messing up or she gets into foul trouble, you have around her Naz and Nia Coffey, who can fill in and make up for that. And again, she gets in foul trouble, send in aerial powers, situation handled. You have unlocked peak balance. And again, someone has to run all of that. So instead of just leaving it up to, Maya Caldwell, who is a bucket, you might as well just have it be Jordin Canada. Why not? I feel like that would be significantly more interesting, especially in terms of who's going to get a bucket with that bench lineup. You want to have more than just Maya and Ariel, So that's how I feel like things would be perfectly balanced. Again, what system would be run doesn't matter because Tanisha Wright's the coach and they're never going to fire her for some reason. So I think that roster would be amazing. Just putting it out there for the Kennedy Carter thing. Kennedy is Kennedy. I don't need to describe it anymore. I feel like everyone is aware of it now. I'm not so crazy anymore. We all agree she's her. Keeping her as shooting guard, I think, would be great. Let her go get a bucket, and she can facilitate as well. I think it would be really, really cool. And I don't think contractually it would be that big of a deal. And also in terms of us being able to get an individual, I think there's a higher chance of that happening. Haley Jones, I don't see a place for her on this team. I don't see it. I don't see it with LA. Shout out to her. I just haven't seen her play. I'm sure she's incredible. I'm sure she's amazing. Comes from that South Carolina cloth. Cool. But I don't see a place for you on this team. Our other light-skinned individual, who is technically a center as well, no offense to her. Again, I don't see her play. I don't see a spot for you on this team, especially when you only have basically 11 roster spots to pick from. If Haley Jones and LA are the hot take cuts, I don't think that's that big of a deal. In terms of what the team needs and what we're dealt, I feel, I don't think that's that insane there. But that is just me. And for the individuals who I said should be cut, with the exception of Haley Jones, I don't want you to think I'm slandering you. I just literally don't see how you fit on the team. No shot, no shade. And Haley, you got to get it together, because I'm really fantasizing of a world where we don't have to deal with your services. You are dangerously getting over to Ari McDonald territory. And while I don't want to slander you because you're cool people and I mess with you in general, I just don't see how you fit on this team. I don't see where there's a role for it. I don't get it. I feel like you need to be somewhere where clearly the ball is in your hand and you're just doing your thing and getting the occasional Magic Johnson fast break, because I don't see how that fits on the Dream. This current iteration of it. But that's just me. Let me know your thoughts down below. 7 man, y'all, 7 man.